Kia ora koutou, welcome to another video, another lesson. Here we are again, Putatara music, providing accessible musical opportunities and education to those with Waiata and music that's in Te Reo Māori. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. As you know, we have some Waiata up there already, and we've got some more on the way. It's been beautiful. We've really been gaining some subscribers and engaging with people, which is really cool to see. So no mai haere mai to all the people who aren't subscribed, and if you have been learning some of these Waiata, welcome back again. We've got this song here, which is He Aha Ke Toku Uma, What Is Inside My Chest, or you can interpret that as Where Is My Heart, a love song obviously, and we'll have a little bit of background in it. But as per usual, in the description is all the timestamps, so if you want to go ahead to some of the sections within this to learn a chord or learn the song structure, you can go to that now. As what I said, in the description is all the timestamps. We are taking this one from Aotearoa Aotearoa Songbook, and so with that there is a score sheet. I'll leave that link also in the description. As per usual, there is the kupu, the words, those are going to be pinned in the comment section. I will leave a interpretation of these lyrics, and I will go over that just a little bit on what the lyrics actually mean, what the kupu, the words mean, and that's just because you can kind of get a little bit lost with what the meaning is, as it's been a song that has morphed and changed throughout the years. But other than that, we have a 4/4 timing. Doesn't really change too much in terms of the time signature. It's in the key of G, in the key of G. And we've got pretty much the 1-4-5 with a 6 in there and a couple of extensions. So let's get ready for a key change halfway through. Let's get into this right now. Sure. Okay, so He Aha Ke Toku Uma. The song is in a 4/4, and we're going to play it in G. Now this is an intermediate level kind of song, so I'm going to be doing this all in bar chords. We won't be playing any open chords with this at all. And what we've got going on is we've got a G, and then we're going to play a D9 in the intro, and then we're also going to go from an E flat to a D9 in order to set us up to go into the verse. Cool, and that's pretty much our intro. So with the song structure, it's all in 4/4 and it's swung. So it's a feel to the music, right? So instead of coming at things straight, which is what you hear in a lot of like heavy metal or just straight rock, you just have this real straight kind of feeling to it. You kind of go at it like that with the headbangers. Where when you have swing, you're kind of more likely aiming it towards the hips, and you're getting in this kind of groove thing going where it's a little bit more side to side. Triplets are what are really good with a swing kind of rhythm. But what I'm going to do is just simply go, okay, ka-chink, ka-chink, for that Māori strum. So when I'm playing my G, I'm just going to set up this G chord first, so that way we've got it down. Just going to bar the 3rd fret, and then our 2nd finger is going to be on the 4th fret of the G. Our 3rd finger is going to be on the 5th fret of the A, or the 5th string, and right underneath that on the 5th fret of the D string, or our 4th string, we put our pinky. And you're going to strum all 6 strings with this one. So it is a fully blown chord. Now, when I say that with the rhythm, we're just going to be going, come on, Motu kita whiti. Alright, and so what that is we're just going down, up, and then we're doing the accent there. So going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So our chugga, our accent, that thing there, should be on the 2 and the 4. It is just 4/4 timing, so it's just pretty much straight as in terms of the counts that we go with. So we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Come on, Motu kita whiti. Alright, So we're going from a G, and it is a 1-4-5 progression. So with that, we've got a G, we've got a C, and we've got a D. G being the 1, C being the 4, D being the 5. We don't play a 6 in this section of the song, so it's really between that. There is also a D9 and a G9 that will come up as well. So that is the D9 there. And so to play a 9 chord, and this is just the major 9, you need the 1, the root note. There is your 3rd note there, so that's the 3 of the triad, of the basic triad. You want to have a dominant 7th as well, which is this one here, so that's a C note. And then we're also going to add this E note right here, which is the 9, and then the A, which is the 5th, and that's up there. So you want to bar the 5th fret with your 3rd finger. Put your 1st finger on the 4th fret of the D, or the 4th string, and then your 2nd finger is going to go on the 5th fret of the A string, or the 5th string. We don't play the low E for this one, so we do not play this one here, and you get that chord, and that's a D9. Cool. The root note is right here with your 2nd finger. That's the D note, so that's what makes it the D chord, and then the 3rd defines it as a major, which is this one here on the 4th fret, which is an F sharp. Cool. Really good for funk is these 9th chords. Really, really good for funk and like James Brown kind of stuff, right? Cool. So we've got our G, and we're going to be holding that for 4 bars. So that means for 4 bars, for 3 bars, which means it's going to be held for 12 counts. Okay, so if you do your math properly, 3 times 4 is 12. Hey, didn't think you'll learn math here, right? So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So for the first 3 bars, you're playing G, and then the 4th bar, you're playing that D9 chord. On the 3rd bar is when the singing starts to come in, so you go around twice, so you should have 8 counts in total with just G, with nothing, with no vocal whatsoever. So you 1 and Kamo motu ki tawhiti e. Alright, cool. After that D9, we're going to go back to G. Now we're going to be really playing G for like 3/4 of the bar. So then we're going to go E flat 9 to D9. So what am I doing there? So after I play the G, so we're playing our G chord. Alright, now we're going to go to E flat for only like 1 count. So you're really just using it as a pass. So we had that D9 chord on the 5th fret with your 2nd finger. You're just going to move everything up 1 fret. And it's now going to be on the 6th fret, your 2nd finger. Your 1st finger is going to be on the 5th fret of the D string, and then you're going to bar with your 3rd finger on the 6th fret, all the way across. So you get that there on the 6th fret. Again, don't play this low E. We're only just playing the 5 higher strings that are closest to the ground. Cool. And you're only going to play that for like 1 count, and then you're going to move it back down to that D9. So you're going up the 6th fret down to the 5th fret. Alright? 1. Cool. And then you hold that D9 for 4 counts. There's nothing really going on in that vocally. And then you're ready to go into the verse. So that's our intro. So I'll play it from the top here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Into that verse. So when we go into the verse, we're going to start off with a G for 2 bars, so with just that G chord, and that's when you're going to hear the singing starting up. So the then we're going to move to a C chord. Now with our C chord, we're going to do a fifth string bar chord. So we're not going to be playing the low E for this one. You're going to bar the third fret with your index finger, your first finger. And remember, for me, I mute the low E with just the top of the bar. I'm not fretting it, I'm just touching it. And so that way you get that sound. And just in case if I accidentally hit it, you won't really hear the note. You'll just kind of hear a percussive, muted string sound. And then, instead of playing the A shape like this here, with our fingers up, the second, the third, and the pinky, I'm just going to bar with my third finger there on the 5th fret. And I'm only barring the D, the G, and the B string, and the high E should be open. So you should get that nice clear note up the top. Right, now that is a C major. So we've got a C, which is on the 3rd fret, and then we're going to bar the 5th fret of the D, the G, and the B string. And that's our C. So that's going to be going on for 2 bars as well, so that's another 8 counts in that verse. So come on, he aha ke I taku uma e tu ki nei kamamai. Cool. So then it goes back to G after it plays C, so it goes to G for another 2 bars, another 8 counts. Then we're going to play D for 4 counts, and all that you need to do for D is what you have with the C chord. You just move it up 2 frets. So you move your bar now from the 3rd fret up to the 5th, and then the second bar that you had with your 3rd finger, instead of playing that on the 5th fret like this, you're now playing it on the 7th, and that is now a D chord, D major. Right, so you're going to play D major for 4 counts, only 1 bar, and then you're going to play the D9. So just like what we had there in the intro. So we're going he aha ke I taku uma e na 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 kamamai e na, and then it goes back to G. So this is the last part of the verse. It goes back to G for 2 bars, so it should be 8 counts in total. Then we're going back to C for 2 bars. Then we go back to G for 1 bar. Then to the D9, and then back to G. And then that should be that, all good. And then we're going to be setting ourselves up to go into the chorus. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll go from the he aroha pea ki te tau. Okay, so we're going... 1, 2. He aroha pea ki te tau e ka momo tu ki ta whiti e au e. And then what we're going to change from there is it goes from a G to a G9. You can play a G dominant 7. The dominant 7th is the main thing that you want to try to capture in this. But the music sheet indicates that it's a G9, so you want to add the A note on the top as well. So with 9 chords, you have two notes that you're adding into the triad. So you got 5 notes in total that should be that should be played in the chord. And all you're doing is you're playing the G. So we're playing the G on that 3rd fret, but you're going to take your pinky off, and that now opens it up to be a G7. But then when you put your pinky on the 5th fret of the high E, so all the way up here, you should have, that's the 9th note that you're playing. So we're not talking the 9th note as in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's not 9 notes going on, just talking about the 9th note within the major scale, which is an A for the key of G. Cool. And then so you're going to play that G9 for 2 counts, and that leads us into the chorus section, so into the B section. And all it does is then it goes to a C, to a D, to a G, hold the G, and then on that part there, it just does the D to the D9, and you're going to hold those for 1 bar each, so 4 counts for each of those ones. The G is held for 4 bars, so then that should be 16 counts in total for that. So if we go back to the Oe, we'll go from the C. 1, 2, 3, 4. D to the D9. G to C. To the G. D9. Okay, and that's the whole chorus there. So the second part of the chorus, you're just pretty much repeating stuff. So you're going G for 2 bars, so 8 counts, C for 2 bars, so 8 counts, G for 1 bar, 4 counts, D9 for 1 bar, so that's another 4 counts. Then you're going back to G. Then what happens is it sets up the key change. So now we're going to be going up a half a step and going from G major into A flat. And we're going to do that by setting it up with an E flat 9. So just like what we did in the intro there on the 6th fret, that's going to set us up to land on the A flat. Now how does that work? It's because the E flat 9, well, E flat is the 5th of A flat. So the thing with 5 chords is it has a natural lead tone note within its chord setup, within the notes that we play, which in this case would be a G. And that leads us nicely into the A flat. So it's just a nice way to resolve, because it always feels nice going from a 5 to a 1. So we changed it now to A flat. So that E flat is on the 6th fret. So remember our second finger is on the 6th fret of the A, first finger is on the 5th fret of the D, and then we're barring the 6th fret of the G, the B, and the high E right there. Okay, and then once that we go into the verse, it's the same setup as the first verse, but now we are a half a step higher. But then the beauty about the guitar is the chord shapes still translate. It's just that the notes, you just got to know what notes you're in and how they work. So now we're going to A flat, which is just G, but on the 4th fret now. So our bar is on the 4th fret. Our second finger should be on the 5th fret of the G. Third finger is on the 6th fret of the A, and then our pinky is just below that on the D string on the 6th fret as well, and it is 6 strings, so we're going to play that. And as what I said, it's the exact same setup as before. So we're going to be going over the e o ho rangatahi. We go to A flat for 2 bars, and then we go to D flat for 2 bars. So D flat is just C, like on the 3rd fret, but we're going to move it up 1 fret. And now we've got D flat or C sharp. But we're going to call it D flat here because we're in the key of A flat. So we're going e o ho rangatahi maranga mai, back to A flat, e panto, and then E flat. So E flat is just D, but we're going to move that up 1 fret as well. Now we've got E flat or D sharp, but we're going to call it E flat because we're in the key of A flat. Lots of words for me coming out, right? And then we're going to play that E flat 9 again, all right? So it's just like E flat to E flat 9, then back to A flat, and then D flat, A flat, E flat 9, okay? So it's exactly the same thing as what we did in the first key, but we've just moved everything up just 1 fret, and that's how you do that key change. Same with the A flat 9 chord. It's very similar. It's the exact same setup to that G9, but we're just moving it all up 1 fret. Right? So we got the A flat chord here on the 4th fret, and then 4th fret with our bar, and then we're going to take our pinky off from that A flat, and then we're going to put it on the 6th fret. And so we got the 7th, as well as that dominant 7. So we've got the dominant 7 coming through, plus the just the 1, 3, 5, as well as the 9th coming through on the top with that B flat. And then it's the exact same thing in the chorus, but now because we're in the next key, we're in half a key up. you now play everything half a key, half a step up. So we got our D flat to E flat, G, A flat. So remember how we had the G for 4 bars, so 16 counts in total? Well, now you just do that with the A flat. So as we're going through that, it then goes to the E flat, and then down to the E flat 9. So we go, alright, so it just does the same thing as what it did in the first chorus, except everything is a half a step up, is what I keep going on about. And so we're doing that A flat for like the 16 counts, and it goes to the E flat for one bar, 4 counts, E flat 9 for 1 bar, 4 counts. Then it goes back to the A flat for 2 bars, so that's 8 counts. D flat for 2 bars, so that's another 8 counts. A flat for 1 bar, 4 counts, and then E flat 9 for 1 bar as well, so that's 4 counts. And then it goes back to the to the A flat, and then this is just the turnaround to go into the outro. And so we're going, and then it goes to an F minor. That is the 6th chord. That's the only 6th chord that we have here. And then it's a F minor. So F minor, it's just like F major, except you're going to take your 2nd finger off and get rid of that 3rd and flatten it by half a step to make it a minor chord. Cool. So just like how we have like our G major or our A flat major, so just the same chord, but same chord set up in terms of fingers. But we're going to do this on the 1st fret, and we're going to take our 2nd finger off, and that's now F minor. Okay, so we're going to bar the 1st fret, and then we're going to have our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the A, or the 5th string, and then just below that on the 4th string, on the D string, we're going to put our pinky. No need to have our 2nd finger on. And you're going to strum all 6 strings for that one there. And that is our F minor. Cool. And then it just repeats, it just goes back for the outro to Ina Mokai Kiri E, and it goes from A flat to E flat, A flat to E flat. Now this is very quick, this part. Then we're going to go G flat, G, and up to A flat. So we're resolving back to finish it. Now what happens there? So after we play that F minor, we're going to play A flat for 4 counts, so 1 bar. E flat 9 for 4 counts, so that's 1 bar. A flat for only 2 counts. E flat for only 2 counts. Then it goes G flat, G flat, G, A flat. So it does a chromatic walk up to resolve the song and to finish it. And for that last bit, it should be da da da, right? So what we're going to do is we go from the Kiri and then to the F minor. So we're going 1, 2, Kiri Ina Mokai Kiri. Okay, cool. So after we play the A flat and the E flat 9 for 1 bar each, the A flat is only for 2 counts, so we're just going, I just go up, I just go down, up, and then I just go down, up on the E flat 9, and then that sets me up for this G flat, G, A flat run, and then I'm going to go, so with that it should be down, up, down. So what I'm doing is I'm doing down on the G flat or the F sharp, then up on the G, and then down on the A flat. Okay, so you're hitting. There is a little bit of a trick to this with the bar to help you mute notes and to choke the note. And all I'm doing there is I'm just kind of letting my fingers off just slightly, just so then that way they choke the notes. So I'm getting that kind of movement. So when they're off, you're not hearing anything coming out of the guitar. You're just hearing a percussive, right? And that's when I'm pushing down. So I'll try to get this from this angle. Right, so I'm not muting with this hand, I'm actually muting with this hand. And that's the great thing about bar chords, is because I'm holding the whole, all 6 strings, you're able to kind of get that going. Down, up, down. Cool. So just before that, on the A flat to the E flat 9, so we're going. Right, so down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So if you want to know where the G flat is, it's just on the 2nd fret, just moving them up 1 fret each. So you got G flat or F sharp is what that chord is, and then we got G, and then we got A flat or G sharp. Cool. And then that's the whole entire song. So that's the music for it. We will touch on what are the actual meanings of the words and the interpretation of it. Sure. Okay, koutou, so a little bit of a background on this song, He Aha Kei Taku Uma. This one is originally by, or the records say, Maarama Moturara and Tata te Aira Muru. Now, this started out as their first cousins, from what I hear, from Tainui, from the Waiata. And it was originally a love song, and the original love song is different. It's different to how we hear this version of it. Just before the Second World War and the Māori battalion, the song was used to recruit some people to come and join the army and to join the Māori battalion, as what the Eoho Rangatahi Maranga Mai means. Awaken all you young people, hapaina tō iwi e, and come support your community, your people, your tribe, right? So it was rewritten after the original writers put their version down. It was rewritten for to recruit people. And then last year in 2024, because it's 2025 right now as we speak, they also used the song to inspire people to join the movements like Toitu Tiriti and other movements like that that have been going on politically within our country. And so it's kind of had a resurgence from that movement, and yeah, they've used it more in that connotation. Another word in there which can kind of get a little bit lost is the word mokai. Mokai, if you were to directly translate it, means like or commonly means like your slave, right? And the kind of thought pattern behind slave is very negative in a English speaking, because obviously all the stuff that the world's gone through, and etc, 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 and all the PC that goes on. But in a Māori context, mokai doesn't necessarily mean the slave that the common definition is using, and partly because of the way that servants were treated. Sure, we had ones that were appalling, just like any society, but it doesn't mean that they were all like that. Some that got caught in battle and skirmishes and fights for land and whatnot, they became members of the people that captured them, right? And they were looked after. So the word mokai doesn't necessarily, I think it gets a bad rap. In some tribes, and some iwis, and some hapu, some sub-tribes, they look at mokai as more of an endearment rather than a slave. In this case, though, it can also be used as a way to be bereaved or lonely and sad. And so from this context of the kupu, that's where I think this is really coming out, is that it's got that whole meaning behind it, alright? But yeah, it's not necessarily what we think it is, okay? So yeah, I think it's more I'm grieved and lonely and sad. So that's a little bit of explanation behind this song, He Aha Kei Taku Uma, a nice little fun upbeat song. Man, my neighbours are about to have a party, so I think I should get out of here. But if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, we do have some more stuff coming up. We do have the jam track also going to be happening just next. If you just want to be playing along, have a little go with it. Kia kaha, be strong, and ake kia kaha, forever be strong. We'll see you in the next one. Moriora.